session, what we wanted to discuss with the UDS attendants is the integration we are doing on Essential. Probably some of you know already what Essential. It's the features we are going to integrate, or the use cases we want to cover with this integration. For the next version of Essential, development version 2.3 release, stable release is going to be 3.3 on September. We are integrating Samba 4 with OpenLDAP and with Kerberos. As you might know, Samba 4 has its own LDAP, not OpenLDAP, but its own LDAP and its own Kerberos. And what we wanted to have is an interface that is able to manage schemas that they are already working on LDAP, and we know how to deploy things on OpenLDAP. We know how to do with this already, and then we have Samba for things, the global policy objects, single sign-on for Windows, all these things that they are working on Samba for. But what happens if I want to have an interface or a way to have both things working together at the same time? Because usually on a network you can have Windows machines, you can have Linux machines, and Linux machines or Linux servers, they work better with OpenLDAP. There are more documentation, more examples on how to configure that, but Windows, they need Samba 4. So what we have come up with is an interface that does all the users, groups, management, web interface on OpenLDAP. This we have it already on Essential 2.2. We have added on this Kerberos, so all the services like Squid, Mail, whatever on the server authenticate against these Kerberos, and also the clients. If we have Linux clients on the network, we can configure them to use these Kerberos. And if we install as well Samba 4, what we do automatically, we change everything to use the Kerberos of Samba 4, because this Kerberos has some additional extensions that they are not in the Himdall or MIT Kerberos, probably from Linux. So all the services they are using these Kerberos, but everything keeps on working because we have a module, Samba module, that we have written that keeps on sync Samba LDAP with OpenLDAP. So we have the same thing working together. Why we made this? Because most of the customers we are working with, and most of our community, they usually have like mixed environments. So we think this is the best solution. What we want to cover, the use case we want to cover, is Windows machines working with the Samba 4, which is complete domain replacement. And then if you have Linux desktops, also work with the same setup, with the same interface, and all the servers they are authenticating it. And what I think is very cool is you get all this working out of the box. You don't need to configure this manually, blah blah blah. So the aim, more or less, is to be the next SWAT. You know, this tool was very famous for some for administrating shares, blah blah blah, like all this configuration. So we have this to do OpenLDAP, Kerberos, and Samba 4. Well, I don't know, like, what do you think about this? You guys.
Do you use it at the moment in your deployments, Samba 4?
No, it's developed. It's actually it's
we have published already some beta packages, but it's not
being deployed in customers.
My one colleague is trying it out, and it's Samba 4 is working so nicely, and it seems very nice, but we haven't tried it out in the wild either. But I'm just interested if there's any big blocker bugs still or anything that we know of.
No,
The printers is broken.
yes, currently we don't have printer support, for example.
Yeah.
But you use Samba 3 with Samba 4 for that.
Yes, yes, we can. We could run 2 demos at the same time, that kind of stuff, but we prefer to
Yes,
wait
Samba
for the printer support in Samba 4. It's one
There is also broken two things: the recycle plugin
yeah, recycle bin and
antivirus as well. Like there are some features that we have working on production on Samba 3 that were the recycle bin plugin. So you have like on the server a recycle bin. Also the log audit, which basically logs every access you do and run every file. This is also not working.
Okay.
The things that they are not working on Samba 4.
Yeah, I'm actually working what is not.
And the third one is the antivirus integration. We were kind of maintaining a plugin which is called Samba VS Camp, which connects Clam IV. Yeah, so.
At least that won't be big problems for anybody.
No, they are not big features. It's going to be a regression. They are not going to be available, but those are not working in Samba 4.
If you only need basic features, I mean, joining the computers to the domain, managing GPOs and that kind of stuff is working perfectly. I mean, this Samba is supposed to be alpha, but those basic functionalities are working really, really good. And there are a lot of people, not with Sentinel, but there are people using Samba 4 in production.
Yeah.
In the mailing list, there are some success stories.
There is also one feature that we want to cover. That is, you have already a Windows domain and you want to include a Linux member, which is going to be a server, and we want to replicate this domain into the Samba 4 of the server, and then have, like, I don't know, a squid or mail authenticating against this.
So do you want to join the domain, or do you want to act as a domain controller?
No. Acting as a domain controller works, but being a domain member isn't working.
In the end, it should be like any other Windows server.
Yeah. But if this is not working, the alternative is, if I'm not a domain controller, I'm not going to do the replication of Samba 4, but I'm going to configure all of my services to authenticate directly to the domain controller, and this will work, only using servers.
So basically you're saying act as a domain controller is not working, being a domain member is.
No.
Yes, that's wrong, right.
Okay, in the same way. Okay.
So yeah, this is both use cases we want to cover. Like you have a full network managed by Linux servers, and Samba is going to be the domain controller that works. If we have already a network with Windows and we want to join a new server, this is not working now, but we could reconfigure things to make it work not in a nice way, because we would like to have replication. It doesn't mean replicated in our own Samba in the server, and which is going to be, I think, a great improvement is that right now, if you configure, like right now in Sentinel, at least when we configure the clients to do authentication against the server, we are not using Kerberos, we are using LDAP, and for example, password change with password command is not working. If you change password from Windows, as we keep multiple hashes on OpenLDAP, they are not updated, they are only updated
Just the
LM hashes. So a great improvement with the Kerberos is that users, they can change their own password directly from the desktop, no matter if they are using Windows or they are using Linux. And this is a very good improvement.
So to summarize, so your Kerberos integration actually managed to change all the...
Exactly. OpenLDAP doesn't manage the password change, but Kerberos does. I think this is going to be very interesting.
So this is something that's in Zentil or something that's developing to have ready for the next...
This is already developed.
Ready as a beta version.
But it's not still, it's a branch. It's not merged into master.
Yeah, the Kerberos is not merged.
What is merged is the Samba thing, but without the Kerberos integration. This has been released already and it's working. People they are using it as community.
Yes,
big deployments.
Yeah,
With,
testing purposes.
Yeah. So we expect to merge the Kerberos integration in the next weeks.
As soon as we are back in Spain.
Yes. And we will release this into the community and should be stable and production ready in June at least. But when we finish everything, things should be ready for that.
So, question.
Yeah.
So we have Active Directory here, and we have Zentil also here. Can a client query EAD, get information out of it?
Query?
Go through Zentil or how?
No, the domains will be authenticated against Zentil, and they will say that as a domain controller.
Okay. But what if the client just wants to get some information, some telephone number, let's say, out of
They
the
have,
directory?
yes, you have OpenLDAP or Samba, and they can carry this information using LDAP. We are not using anything here, it's LDAP. And in the user, like when you edit the user section, you have like multiple files, fields, like names or name, password, blah blah blah. And one name, one field can be telephone number. Does answer your question? No.
Not really. Let's just say, can I get some information out of the Active Directory? Let's say I'm authenticated in there, okay? And now I know that there's some information in the Active Directory that I want to see. I want to know telephone number for user John.
Okay. Yeah.
Does that work?
Yes, it's like when you make Samba for replicate or join the domain as a controller, it replicates the information you have on the ID. So this works like everything is replicated, and then you use whatever you're using to ask for this information.
So I know, I believe that implies having OpenLDAP create all the schemas that are on Active Directory. Is that correct?
We are going to sync only the common settings. As I said, we are going to keep on syncing Samba 4 with OpenLDAP, but we are not going to OpenLDAP all the schemas that you have on Active Directory because it's a huge task and it's useless. What we are going to keep on sync between Samba 4 that has all the Active Directory domain information and OpenLDAP are the basic attributes that we need to have in sync. So if I add something OpenLDAP specific on the OpenLDAP, keeps working. I don't know, if I add some main object classes to a user in OpenLDAP, and this user changes his password via Samba 4, I want to keep on sync username, full name, password hashes, Kerberos tokens, but the main object classes they are going to keep to be only in OpenLDAP because they are OpenLDAP specific.
So it's based, the information that a user can retrieve is based on information that the administrator puts in.
Yes, exactly. And one very nice thing is that Zentil has its own interface to manage the users, but Samba 4 it's domain compatible 100%. You can use the normal domain management tool from Windows to create and edit users, and this information goes into Samba 4. With the plugin we have in Samba 4, gets replicated in OpenLDAP. So basically, you can end up adding, deleting, editing users with the tool that you were using for Windows before, and you will get those users into the central system to do whatever you want to do with them. And that's going to work both ways. Like, do you have any experience like deploying this domain mix networks with Windows? This is super complex, and we want everybody to be able to do this. Like, it would be super cool. Like people that they are not able to configure this. Hey, I got single sign-on domain management in my network.
Okay, so I got a question. So let's assume you want to provision your user through a standard Windows tool, management tool. So how do you populate Unix information out of it?
You will have to go to Center to finish all this.
All right. But
you will leave it the basic. Like for example, if you have main attributes, you add this. And you are this user from the Windows tool, you will have the user, but you will have to go to Shelter to add the, okay, this was my main account, or I want to add a new alias, blah, blah, blah. We don't plan to write any plugin to install Windows and being able to manage those attributes directly from Windows.
No, I was thinking about auto UID generation.
Yeah, ID number.
UID number and chip numbers, you know.
I think that's
this is going to work.
Auto incrementally assignment, no problem.
No, it's just one. This is good. Could simplify if it's not covered. This will simplify unified deployment.
Actually, we have one thing which is called user templates, where you define the defaults for the user creation. For example, if you have the main module installed, you can say, okay, for every new user you create, give it a mail account, which is going to be his username at this domain, and it's going to have this megabytes of quota for mail, and this megabytes of quota for the file system, blah, blah, blah. You define a user template, and when you add these users, they get automatically this configuration. You on Ubuntu, I saw that you had some blueprints in the past about having a domain admin tool, blah blah blah. These are the use cases that you want to cover.
Yeah.
How different is from the ideas you have?
We weren't even that ambitious. We just want an LDAP server at the very least, or some kind of central authentication that works well, because it's way too complicated for any teacher to set up that doesn't necessarily have IT skills, but how to set up their computer. But we had so many challenges for that back then that we pretty much abandoned it and didn't look at it again.
Yeah.
But Gentiles, what you're planning solves so much more problems that we want to do, and the GUI on top of it is nice. So
yeah. And I like it. This is like, it's not a LDAP browser tree. It's like you're not going to see object classes. You're not going to see attributes. This is all hidden. You only get like fields that you want to edit. This is main. This is quota, blah blah blah. So you are like on a high level. All of this.
Am I able to show anything on the projector?
¿Qué tenemos? What do you have? Yeah, like.
So there's a projector stuff here, but is it connected? Yeah. There should be Do you want to try the HDMI?
Why not?
There's HDMI as well. Yeah, I don't know. Can you do something? Can you show something?
Yes.
Does everything try to detect displays? No, you can't.
Also, can you maybe show something? The other thing, I don't know how it's implemented. You know that the Ubuntu default or recommended tool to set up configuration is outclean config.
Sorry, I missed the first part of that.
Like Ubuntu default configuration tool for authentication is outclean config. You know this tool that
yeah.
edits NSS suites, like all these files.
Yeah.
I don't know if currently it's supporting Kerberos.
Well, actually,
And using if it's supporting SSSD.
SSD is way better. I've been using that recently and it works really well. The one in the archive was broken before 12.04, but in 12.04 it's good. And it works well against AD and against LDAP, but pretty much anything we've written with that so far.
I think we should implement on outclean config support for this if it's not already implemented, because
Yeah, well, we were actually, this is, I don't know if you thought about this, but we were thinking in the bar upstairs on porting. Are you aware of outage tool of sent to us?
Yes, so in,
Something like that.
in what we have spec for that we postponed in 11.10, but we have now given for 12.4 is a step in ubiquity where it asks you, do you want to connect to a domain or to the next network setup, and then you just fill in the details and it's done. So that's just an install time though, but maybe we can recycle that for a host tool. Yeah.
No tenemos screenshots de users en la web.
la documentación.
So, Phil, afterwards, could you show, please, what is your development page?
Yeah.
For example, this is to create a group.
Yeah, so basically it is. And for users with Mohammed? There.
Yeah.
So, like the super basic interface for user creation is this. What is it?
And you can see the list of users.
So
and
this stupid, like, you are not dealing with editing of the classes, in attributes, POSIX, account, blah blah blah. Everything is done automatically.
list of users.
Yeah.
In a user, you can move it between the groups.
And can you show the track website with the world map and the key tree as well?
So teachers care a lot about things like classrooms and groups and things like that. Is anything like that yet? Or
No.
never been anything?
No. Well, we are 86% in the Radon orbit. Yeah, so basically, using the drop, you can follow all the developments.
I was wondering, so is this something that anybody can join?
Yes, yeah, there is a mailing list where most technical skilled people they are using because end users they prefer forums, so we have forums.sentinel.org that were like the user level knowledge or admin low level knowledge communities participated, but the geek ones they are on the mailing list. And
We have also
IRC channel, Sential on Freenode. And we have the development guide, which is there on the track. Maybe you can show it.
Yes.
So we have a framework to configure all these things. We created a development bar, so you can get introduced into development very easily. Documentation. No, go to
Tutorial.
Yes.
How to access the Git repository.
Okay.
All this information.
So, in order, so again, sorry for the questions, maybe good for everybody. In order to be successful with the next releases, is there anything you miss?
No, I think as long as some it's not broken,
Yeah.
and we implement SSSD supporting of this config, there's something we have to do in Ubuntu. It's not in central packages. The clear configuration side should be very, very easy to do with this.
Okay.
This is something we have to implement with Ubuntu.
Well, I think do a lot of the testing to put that well.
Okay. Yeah. That would be great. This needs a lot of testing because I'm breaking many presses.
So basically you're waiting for packages uploaded.
Yeah.
If you need to upload that, you can.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you have upload rights. Because,
Not yet.
I saw that.
I applied for that, but still I'm on the queue.
Okay.
Maybe next 2 weeks, not in the next board meeting.
Anyone has questions or proposals or anything?
Should we find another, actually very provocative question? If people want to compare you with Goza,
Okay.
so how should you
Yes.
position?
Yeah. Probably Goza has more features to manage only OpenLDAP. It's like more level thing. You can add new object classes. You have more attributes, but it does only OpenLDAP. I don't think it has Kerberos right now.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
We use that as backup.
And Samba 4, it has Samba 3,
Samba 3.
Yeah.
but not Samba 4.
Yeah, we need it, but also I haven't seen that. It doesn't.
Yeah. So, like for doing only OpenLDAP, those has more features.
But because it's also broken in many ways, there's
Yeah.
lots of bugs we have to run
Yeah.
constant places.
I never tried. Like I have seen the features, but never like would try to put it on production.
I've actually tried, but again, I fully agree with you. It's the weird package, package dependencies and.
Yeah, the package in Ubuntu is completely broken. You have to use it from PPA.
Yeah, exactly. And also even rebuild yourself from PHP, which is not a big issue, but anyway. I guess, I'm trying to find out if there is any, showstoppers on, being the next big thing on SWAT,
There is. We have another competitor or alternative, which is called Resara. Resara is also packaged in Ubuntu.
What's the name of it?
Resara. But they are only doing Semaphore.
ESARA.
Okay. They are only doing Semaphore, and yeah, because of that they have also FTP and DNS and DHCP. But that's it. If you want to have services using OpenLDAP, you cannot do it. If you want to configure any other service like proxy or VPN or whatever you want,
so
you cannot do it.
Obviously, the one of the things that makes it great is the plugin architecture.
Yes.
So it can basically, can be a sort of mixture in between Resara and I would say also Webmin.
Yes.
Done in a better way.
Yeah.
So trying to.
Another difference with Resara is it provides a desktop interface, implemented in Qt, and Santiago is web interface. So it's, you can manage it from a Windows computer with a browser. It's probably much more.
It makes more sense.
For a server, I think it's better a web interface to manage it than a desktop interface, because usually a server can probably be without XOR installed.
One of the things that we wanted to do for 3.0, but probably we wouldn't have time for this, was a small framework plugin system for having generic graphical interface for whatever object classes and attributes you want to add. So if you say, okay, I'm using Sentinel, but I need this schema that adds this object classes and these attributes for my users, but this is not integrated into the Sentinel interface. So you will do write like a small definition, and this object classes and attributes will be mapped into a graphical interface, and they will be shown in the context of users or groups in the Sentinel interface. But I don't think we will have time for sequencing service, so it will be after September. It would be very cool because it's super flexible. Like, okay, this is not essential, not a big deal. Like I write this definition and I get it on the interface.
Well, anyway, currently you can implement a new Sentinel model. I mean, you have to write more of code, but
or you can add it using any generic LDAP browser.
Yes.
So you cannot actually administer OpenLDAP server yet. You cannot administer. If you want to configure OpenLDAP itself, that's something separate.
We don't provide any kind of OpenLDAP configuration because everything is configured to work out of the box. Everything is configured to work out of the box. The only things you do on OpenLDAP is the users and groups management. That's it.
Adding, editing, and deleting users.
There is no interface for adding new schema definitions, or there is no interface to configure indexes, for example, because every module it has a definition. Okay, when I'm getting enabled, I'm gonna add this schema definitions to OpenLDAP, and I'm gonna add those indexes for the attributes that my module manages. So everything is working out. It doesn't make any sense to put there like an interface to say, hey, whatever, like, let's configure those things. What we do provide, and maybe you can show it in the documentation, it's a very small information panel that gives you open LDAP, DN, and admin password. So if you want to connect using a generic LDAP browser, you can do it, or if you have any other application that can authenticate against LDAP, you can use this information to connect. The limitation?
Just in general.
The limitation, like for example, compared to Goza, is that we don't have everything on the web interface. It's like a compromise between keeping things simple and being able to do everything you want on the web interface. If you want to keep things simple, we have to hide everything that is not always.
It's all supposed to be running on one machine. Can you run it in distributed ways?
Yes, actually this is already working in Sentinel 2.2. You can have master-slave deployments. One server is LDAP master, and through the web interface, when you install the users and groups module that does all this LDAP configuration, you can say, hey, you are going to be a master server or a standalone server. You are going to be a slave. So you just put the IP address and the admin password of your master server and connects to the master server and gets replicated all the users and groups information and then have its own services working there. And actually we have a third mode which is called AnySync that you can sync with an existing Windows domain. But this replication is made like binary. It carries the domain and get the users. It's not a real replication. It's a hackish that we want to get rid of it as soon as possible. And somehow we do it proper.
I'm just installing it in the VM now to see what it looks like.
You don't believe everything, all the bullshit we said.
No, just to sum up, we think Samba 4 kernels LDAP are a really good replacement in an open source deployment for Windows server. But the thing is, currently with Ubuntu server, you don't have a graphical interface for it. I don't know. Well, I don't know SWAT very well. I don't know if it provides something similar to this.
No, it does only like share and basic Samba.
But the thing is, currently there is no good replacement, and we believe that Sentinel can be the de facto standard for
any user. Any administrator that wants to have this configured on Linux, they should go to Sentinel and install this. Maybe the Ubuntu default solution for this. And keeping things simple. Like if you want to have like a super complex domain and identity management tool, you should give free iPad a try. But what we want to do with Sentinel is like, I don't know, like Unity. Keep things like smooth, easy, and focus on the things that you use always and not all the feature you can imagine there, and then you have something super complex and difficult. Okay, so I hope you try give us feedback and fix all the bugs you report.
So, more comments? We're done.
Okay.
Okay, so thanks everyone for coming.
I'd like to get one of my colleagues to ask you more questions too, because authentication, it's scary stuff for me, but you'll have some more questions, some more clever questions for you.
We are going to be around, so
Yeah, we can have lunch together or